Okay, I wanted to talk about something. So I'm taking my camera, even though my thoughts aren't clear and organized, but it's okay. I was talking about the fact that these days I was seeing a lot of fans being really aggressive towards each other for like stupid reasons, in my opinion. For example, I was talking about Min Song haters, like people, how to say that, non-shippers that were like attacking shippers, like for example Min Song shippers, and they were getting really violent. And I was talking with my sister about the fact that these days I was seeing more and more fans getting aggressive towards other fans for no reason. Like this aggressiveness and these attacks was leading fans to control their behavior, control their sayings, control what they think they're able to do or not. And I was thinking, I think that the one to blame or those to blame are clearly the companies. And that's a thought that I have and that I had like for a while, that the ones to blame are the company. For example, in dating rumors, I always said the one to blame are the company, not the fans. Like when there is dating rumors, fans tend to get really aggressive toward fans, and they are saying to them, stop acting like these idols are yours, these idols should have their own lives, etc, etc, stop being this aggressive. And I always thought, wait, hold on a minute, but who is concrètement able to restrain them from dating? Who can do that, and who is actually doing it, and who set this interdiction to the idols? It's not the fans. The fans aren't the one that can allow or not these idols to date. And so I always thought, but it's not the fans' problem, it's clearly the company. And if we want to clearly attack, and if we really want the idols to be free and to be able to date, to have a love life, we shouldn't attack fans, because fans aren't able to do nothing. We should attack clearly the company and direct our attacks towards the company and not the fans. And I feel like it's such a basic thing, and it's a thing that if we all understand, it will really change the K-pop world, because it's the same for everything. For example, when we see idols struggling with eating disorders, why are we blaming the fans? We say to fans, oh my god, stop giving negative comments on, for example, a boy that is getting fatter, and stop wanting them to be this thin and this skinny. But I think that the problem is not the fan. Again, it's not the fans. The real problem comes from the company, because who impose to the idols those strict diets? Who is putting this much pressure on them? Who is every day on their sides? I don't think it's the fans. It's not the fan. It's the company. It's the staff. It's everyone that is working with them. So basically, it's their job. Like their job have something problematic, and I think that it's all these problems, like all the couple problem, like the fact that they aren't allowed to date, the fact that they aren't allowed to eat, and the fact that there is more and more people who are either having eating disorders, and if they have eating disorder, they are spreading this unhealthy way of thinking to the fans. But all these problems all come from the fact that the companies are setting these rules, like they are setting these boundaries. They are the ones setting these boundaries, and because they are setting these boundaries, fans get to think the same way they are thinking. So I think that the whole ideology was created by the companies, by the K-pop companies, CEO, and all the staff that are deciding how the idols should live. And also, I think that the fact that fans are getting this ideology and are collectively agreeing to this ideology is also part of the method, because if fans get along with these ideas, with these ways of thinking, then the fans will be like a police. I don't know how to say that, but they will control their behavior, they will control their lives, they will control the idol lives by creating hate comments, by creating the source, and by creating waves of hate toward the idol. They will create traumas to this idol, and this will help the company to control the idols. I think it's really to me it's really something that was thought, qui a été pensé. Pour moi, c'est vraiment quelque chose qui a été pensé pour contrôler mieux les K-popers. En fait, c'est une manière d'avoir. It's a way to have multiple appuis. My English is really gone, but it's a way of having multiple appuis all around the idol, so that the idol don't get out of this really toxic work. Yeah. These days, I am really thinking that the K-pop looks really like a sect. I don't remember how do we say this in English, but it really looks like a sect. And because I feel like everything is made so that the idols think and see the life in a way that isn't what life really is, and the idols are controlled, like they can't do stuff that are really basic human rights and needs, and all of this just to gain money. To me, idols are really used. K-popers, that's how I call them, K-popers and not idols. I feel like they are really used, and so that the company make money, and so that I don't know, because I don't know how the companies are organized, how all this works, but and I'm not saying that the idols are like the victims only. I get that in this kind of hierarchy, because I talk about the K-pop system, but I see it the same way as the capitalism system. To me, it's like a little capitalist system in a big capitalist system, and it really feels like, toxic families, or toxic, for example, a toxic religious sect, or a toxic, those small groups that are created inside a big group, and those small group not only have the big toxic groups influence, but also the small toxic group influence. And to me, it's just like, as someone who's come from like a small toxic family that had, someone that decide for other what's right and what's not, and that really create an environment where you can't see the light and you can't see what's wrong, what's right anymore, because you're surrounded by violence. When I look at K-pop, I really I recognize the same signs, and I recognize the same pratique, and the same I see les mêmes schémas and the same way of proceeding into K-pop. That's what I basically wanted to say. I feel like fans are getting more and more influenced by the companies, the K-pop companies' way of living, thinking, and acting. And I feel like this is really something that we should worry about. As a K-pop fan, I really worry about that. I worry about seeing this much homophobia in the comments, this much fatphobia in the comments, this much violence in the interactions between fans. and this much control on other fans thinking, like how violent it is and how violent they are when they want other fans to think the same way that they do personally. And I really yeah, I have a lot of things to say about K-pop, but you know, today I was really inspired, so I wanted to say, to get this out of my head so I don't forget it. But I really want to do a video that I would call like a controversial K-pop talk, but I still haven't found a moment and haven't gathered enough courage to do it. And because especially because that's how K-pop fandoms are turning, I'm getting really afraid of speaking up, because I know how much I could be bullied for this, and I see a lot of fans getting really bullied, attacked, and personally harmed by this ideology and this kind of acting, this kind of behaviors that I am, you know, scared for myself, but I try to be unbothered, not unbothered, but I try to be strong enough to face it, because this life is, I feel like, you know, it's like the daily life. I have to fight against capitalism every day, and this is another way of expression of capitalism, and I get it, and I gotta make my body strong enough to fight it, because I'm not going to live with capitalism and act like it's nothing, and I'm not gonna be a part of it. I'm gonna be an enemy to it, and I'm gonna be a nuisance to this capitalist system and however it is expressed. So thank you for listening to me.